Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Tharshey and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're going to be having a look at Haldir and we're going to be going through a quick build guide for him. I know we've done one before in the past, but this is a updated one which is actually pretty similar, but in terms of gear and stuff, I finally got all of that sorted out. So I'm going to show you guys my new Haldir build in terms of skills, troops, as well as gear. So hope you guys do enjoy this video, and if you do, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, let's get straight into it. So the first thing we're going to have to look at is we're going to look at his troops and we're going to look at his gear, and then we're going to actually get into the actual skill allocation and, explain what skills we're using, why we're using them, etc. Now, obviously, this build is, based off me having my Haldir at like respect level 12, I think it is. Yeah, I have him at respect 12, so I do have some extra skill points, right? So for you guys who are watching this video but who don't have, a respect 10 or respect 12 Haldir, and you only have respect level 5, which is the minimum, there's just going to be, maybe one or two skills you can't have instead. So I'm just going to say, okay, leave out points over here, leave out points over there. But besides that, you should be all good to go, okay? Because I've only got 7 extra skill points. It's not that much more, but obviously it is helpful. So first things first, let's talk about his army. So if we look at my Haldir right now, right, so he's busy marching over to a fort because I'm going to be mock battling him on my 260 tile. I don't have a 300 yet, guys, but that's a story for another time. If we click on Haldir, right, we can see I basically got a full army of sentinels, and right now I have cataphracts. So cataphracts were just a temporary frontline, but in terms of what you should be using if you're watching this video is your ultimate army composition is sentinels and eagles, okay? That is the army that you want to use, okay? You want to use sentinels for your damage and for your backline, and for your frontline you want to be using nothing except eagles, okay? Like I'm using cataphracts right now just because I didn't have access to eagles until today, because I finally taken an Eerie. But yeah, you want to use eagles. If you don't have eagles for whatever reason, I would say the second best frontline unit would be something like Beornings, another beast type unit. You need to use a beast type unit. So something like Beornings or something else that you can use that's going to benefit from his R3 skill. But yeah, that's the army I'm going to recommend, guys. Use a full army of sentinels with a bunch of eagles. The amount of eagles, can depend on you, whether you think 250 eagles or 500 eagles or 300 eagles or whatever is okay. You can just experiment around and see, how many eagles you actually need to use with him. Now, let's go on to his gear. So if we go and have a look at his gear, we can see I pretty much got him the ultimate ranged build, okay? So all the gear that you're going to be using on Haldir needs to give ranged attack, okay? That's the most important thing. The only thing I have here that doesn't give ranged attack is his accessory. And that's just because I don't have an accessory that gives attack that Haldir can use. I had Wizard's Fireworks, but unfortunately a Wizard's Firework cannot be equipped on an Elvish commander, which I can show you right now because there's actually one in my chest area. Yeah, the exchange. So Wizard's Firework, we click over here, right? And you can see you can only be used by Maya, men, dwarves, hobbits, and evil men. So unfortunately, no Wizard's Fireworks can go on Haldir, but there is actually in the Fellowship store. Oh wait, can I even see that anymore? I'm not sure if I can see it. But basically, using campaign medals, right? Yeah, there we go. Using campaign medals, you can buy this accessory, the Carved Dragon Tooth. And what this accessory gives is it gives unit attack to men, elves, and dwarves of +2, and that's at base level. So if you get this, you can add this onto Haldir, and this has no race limitation. So you can put it on any race you want. So if you put this on Haldir, it'll give your elvish units, aka your sentinels, +2 attack. If you upgrade this further, obviously it will give you a lot more attack. Special effects are pretty decent as well. Against enemy melee units, more damage. Against enemy mounted and large units, more damage. Gift of Nature, which is just more might, focus, speed. Blitz, which gives you initiative for your first 4 rounds. And Tactical Mark, which gives you pursuit. And chance to cause maximum damage. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, Carved Dragontooth is a great option. Unfortunately, I do not have it just yet, but I will be getting it end of the season, I hope. Anyway, back to the rest of his gear. So in terms of accessory, go with something that can give you ranged attack if you have it available. If not, use something else, okay? So something like this Hop of Lothlorien with sustain is pretty decent. It's going to give him more focus, give more speed to his elves, aka the sentinels. Their speed will be up a bit, and sustain will heal my units every round. So every 2 rounds I'll get to heal all my units. Another thing you can use is a Hop of Lothlorien with Tactical Mark instead, which gives you a 30% chance to cause maximum damage, as well as Pursuit, which is very helpful. So that is another thing that you can use if you want. You can use Hop of Lothlorien with Tactical Mark. Now, onto the rest of the build. So for the helmet, right, Trapper's Hood is amazing, especially a Trapper's Hood with Hysteria. And I know you can get a Trapper's Hood that gives, like, I think ranged units damage received or something like that less. But honestly, just go with the Hysteria one if you get it, because once this is upgraded every 2 rounds, you're going to be inflicting madness, and madness can absolutely just tilt a battle in your favor. So Hysteria is a really good trait to have on you. But for the gear piece, Trapper's Hood is probably one of the best ones you can get. As you can see, it gives him focus, it gives him speed, and more importantly, it gives my units, so all my ranged units on Haldir, +3 attack. Another thing you could also put on him is this helmet, the Hunter's Guide, which gives might, focus, and it also gives +3 ranged attack when fully maxed out. However, for me, right now it's not fully maxed out, and I need Haldir to have all the possible damage he can get, and I felt the Trapper's Hood would just work a bit better. So, because Haldir does need speed for modifying 1 or 2 of his effects, especially his R5 effect, which is Galadrim. So yeah, right now we do have Trapper's Hood, but you can use Hunter's Guide as well. That works just as well. Now for the chest piece, I'm using a Ranger Shroud. The reason for that is, as you can see, it gives you might, which is great. It gives you speed, which is really nice. And the most important part, it gives unit attack ranged units +2. So this is at 4-star strengthen. When I get to that 5th-star strengthen, it will go up to +3 ranged attack. The effect, unfortunately, not the greatest effect here, but that is okay. When I get one with a better effect, I'll just upgrade that one instead and then use this one to refine that. And then for the weapon, you need a Mirkwood bow. Like, honestly, Mirkwood bow is amazing. Don't bother with the bow of the high elves. This gives you might and focus, and it gives you it increases the speed of your ranged units. But nah, you don't want this, guys. You can use this if you don't have a Mirkwood bow, but honestly, you should definitely have a Mirkwood bow. It's a purple, right? Bow of the high elves is a legendary piece of equipment. And the reason Mirkwood bow is so great, it gives you might, it gives you speed, perfect. And then it gives you unit attack to range +3. And then for your effect, Elf Strength is not bad, Elves allied units damage dealt +3%, which is fine because you're using an army of mostly sentinels. But if you just wanted to be ranged damage, you can also do that. So all ranged units damage dealt is increased instead of just elves. So yeah, that is the gear build, guys. You're going to be using a Mirkwood bow, a Ranger Shroud, a Trapper's Hood, and a Hop of Lothlorien, or if you have an accessory with ranged attack, use that instead. I also do have his unique gear, but yeah, I just don't think it's worth it really, guys. I would just pick the Ranger Shroud over the unique anytime, just because, I mean, unit HP is great, I guess. Might, focus, speed, that's nice. They gain initiative and defense when battling on woodlands, but I would just go with the Ranger Shroud just for that unit attack. Anyway, onto the skill build, because we are taking a bit long. So, very simply, if you do not have a R12 Haldir or a higher respect level Haldir, you're just going to be, well, for the build I'm doing, you're going to be 7 points short, so you're going to just skip out the last 7 points. I'll tell you where. Anyway, the first thing and the most important thing is you are going to drop 15 points into Guide. First 2 rounds, all allied units physical damage plus 45%, and while damage is increased, your entire army gains stun immunity. So that's 15 points that are going to go there. Next, you're going to put 15 points into Galadrim, and this is allied ranged units physical damage plus 18%. And that effect is then modified by your speed stat. Hence why I said using gear with that gives extra speed as well is great. Next, you're going to go well, actually, you're going to put 1 point right now into Marchwarden of Lothlorien. And I know why I put 1 point, and that's simply because, right? So against one enemy target, deal 16% physical damage, nobody cares. The most important part, one allied unit evades your next damage received. It's basically one free evade for 1 point, totally worth it. Always put your 1 point into there. Next, you're going to go 14 points into Sylvan Elf. That's just going to go normal attack damage. Normal attacks deal an additional 65. Well, at max, it's going to be 70% physical damage as well as 70% poison damage. You can max it out if you have the extra skill points lying around. For now, I'm not doing that, obviously, because my Haldir is not max level, and there's more important things I need to max out. Next, you're going to put 7 points into Beast Training. And this is Beasts each round recover 100% HP. Now you see why I said you have to use Eagles. Or if you don't use Eagles, at least try using Beornings or something like that. And that's because of Beast Training. So Beast Training is going to allow your beasts, whether it's your Eagles or your Beornings, to stay alive. It's going to keep them alive for the entire battle. It's going to, do just enough healing to keep them going and allow your Sentinels, who are your damage dealers, to just absolutely annihilate the enemy. Because remember, your Sentinels are getting like +9 attack. So that's if you have all of these maxed out. It's going to be +3, +3, +3. I don't, so I get +8 instead of +9, but that's fine, +8 attack, and those Sentinels are going to be doing a lot of damage. But, they need a front line. Your front line are going to be Beast, and Beast Training is going to keep them going. Next, you're going to put any remaining points you have into Shield Training. So I will have it maxed out at 7 out of 7 once I get him one more level up. And then, as you can see, I have 10 levels to go on him still. So I'm going to put 1 more point into Shield Training. Then I will put 7 points into Fortify. And I will use Haldir on defense only. So I know it makes him a lot less versatile. But people are always going to be attacking you, okay? You don't need to use Haldir to attack. You have other commanders, use them to attack instead. Use Haldir on defense. Stick him on a tile and pop his defense and let someone hit into you. And Fortify is going to give you, I think it's minus, what is that max? Is it minus 25? No, it's minus like 18% damage received, which is still great. I mean, at 7 points, you're going to be taking like another 18% less damage. And so obviously if you have an R12 Haldir, you're still going to have another 3 points that you can throw around. And those 3 points are going to go, well, obviously I said 1 will be in Shield Training, so you're going to have 2 points left. And I will just put 1 more point into Sylvan Elf. I know, is it really worth it to get 5% more damage and poison damage lost in 2 rounds? I don't know, but I just like maxing it out, so I'm going to put 1 more point there. And my final point I will probably put into Armed Escort. Now for you guys that don't have an R12 and you only have an R5 Haldir, so you're going to be 7 points short, right? So you're going to remove the 1 point from Armed Escort, the 1 point from Sylvan Elf. That still leaves you 5 points less. And you're going to take those 5 points out of Fortify, okay? So you're just going to remove 5 points from there, and you're going to have Fortify on 2 or 1 out of 7 instead. And that is the only change to your build. So for you guys, sitting on the defense will not be as important. You guys can go ahead and attack. But for those of you guys with higher respect level Haldirs, you guys can, max out Fortify and use him on the defense, especially against, if it's an enemy that deals physical damage, it's going to help you a lot. If it's someone like Sauron or the Witch King who end up just doing focus or fire damage, it won't be as effective, but that's fine. You're still going to be doing great, guys. Anyway, to sum this entire video up, because I was rambling on a lot and I kind of made this very long. Okay, let's just go over to Haldir first. Army-wise, you're going to be running Sentinels and you're going to be running Eagles. If you do not have Eagles, use Beornings. If you do not have Beornings, try for another Beast type unit. Okay, now if we go over to Haldir, in terms of gear, you are going to want to use gear that gives you ranged attack. So Mirkwood Bow gives ranged attack, Ranger Shroud gives ranged attack, Trapper's Hood gives ranged attack. You can also use other gear so long as it does give ranged attack. So a Hunter's Guide also does. That is up to you. In terms of accessory, if you can get an accessory that gives attack to your ranged units or just to your army, that's great. If not, go for something like the Harp of Lothlorien with Sustain or with Tactical Mark. Sustain heals your units, Tactical Mark gives them Pursuit, as well as a chance to cause maximum damage. In terms of your Skill build is going to be 15 points into Guide, 15 points into Galadrim, 7 points into Shield Training, 14 points into Sylvan Elf, 7 points into Beast Training, 1 point into Marchwarden of Lothlorien, and any remaining points into Fortify if you only have him on R5. If you do have him at a higher respect level, or you have and you have more points remaining, then you can max out Fortify, and if you have any remaining points, you can put 1 more into Sylvan Elf to max that out if you want, or just dump the rest into Armed Escort. Forest Agility, guys, do not bother. It's useless. Just don't waste points on it. If you put 7 points into it, it gives you a 20% chance to get follow-up. That's so small, it's probably just never going to actually happen, so don't bother using it. Anyway, if you guys did enjoy this video, please do drop a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to turn on those post notifications. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video.